Hey guys, what's going on? Megan here. All right, Q&A, answering questions from my school community. This one is about women, the S word, and the P word. All right, let's look at the poll results first. I want an actual girlfriend. Okay, that one has 16 votes. To be honest, I just want to clap cheeks. That one has 35 votes. Okay, let's be honest. That's all we really want. All right, first question from Andy, my nigga Andy. Let's go. Is it true that girls want to be treated like dog shit? Oh my god. Oh god. I gotta start reading these questions before I do the Q and A because I get caught off guard every time. Some of you guys are so hilarious. All right, is it true that girls want to be treated like dog shit and put in a place by men instead of being treated all nice? And the nicer you treat them, the more they will treat you like, the more they will treat you like shit. Okay, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. It's not that they want to be treated like dog shit, right? Even though that's what it looks like from at face value. It's not that they want to be treated like a piece of shit, right? Even because let's be honest, we've all been there, we've all seen it. In high school, in college, even after college, women gravitate towards the quote unquote bad boy, whatever. It's not because they enjoy being, insulted and treated like crap, or whatever. No, it's what it signifies. Meaning, I told you guys, women are attracted to a man with a high triple S score, meaning he has high ability to provide security, right? Financial security, physical security, high status, high social status, so he has good social skills, he's high on the social hierarchy, and obviously sexiness comes last, right? Now, a man with a high triple S score tends to not give a fuck. That's why I keep trying to tell you guys, you care too much. You care too much about the outcome of, you know, talking to a woman. You care too much about her rejection. You put her on the pedestal, right? So women are attracted to men with high triple S score, and men with high triple S scores tend to not give a fuck. They don't care because they're more worried about their mission, their ikigai, their purpose, their competition. They have options. They have multiple women that they're dealing with, smashing, right? And those men tend, you know, to treat to treat the women like shit because they don't care. They don't care. So it's not that women are like, oh, I want to be treated like shit. No, obviously some of them do weird fetish, type of shit. Sign me up, right? But most of them, it's just what's behind the curtain. When they see a guy who quote unquote treats them like shit, they see, oh my God, this guy doesn't care. Like he has options. He doesn't care whether I leave him. Women, believe it or not, women do not get turned on by men who puts them on a pedestal. I know that's what they tell you, but it's the opposite. They tell you, I want you to be romantic. I want you to do this, buy me flowers. Da, da, da. Yeah, it's so cute and nice, but deep down inside, that's not what turns them on. What turns them on is the masculine man who doesn't give a fuck, who still cares. Don't get me wrong. Like they still want a man who cares and who's caring and protective and provides whatever. But if you put her on a pedestal, she loses interest. Her pussy dries up instantly, and this is across the freaking globe. You know, Asian women, European women, black women, doesn't matter. Are they outliers? Of course, but like I always say, they don't prove the rule. I'm sorry, they don't dispute the rule. They actually prove the rule. So yeah, it's not that they're attracted to you treat them like shit. It's just they're attracted to men who don't give a fuck, men who are high in status, and those men just tend to do that. You know. Also, you know if you treat a woman like shit, 9 out of 10 times because you have options. It's because you have options, right? You have options because you don't care if she leaves. And men who have options, that's social proof. Women like men who are being chased by other women. You also have to remember that women also like fixing men. They have this weird obsession where they want to fix quote unquote broken men. So when the guys treat them like shit or whatever, they're thinking that okay, I'll be the one to fix him. I'll change him. You know, it gets deeper than that. But yeah. Next, I'm not gonna try to pronounce your name. Every time I try, I fail, bro. Bhavjit Singh. Okay, 6'2", 168 pounds, 12% body fat. Historical question: do you think Baldwin IV of Jerusalem was a virgin? I actually do not know who Baldwin IV is. So I'm gonna give you a like. Next, what you think about women? Wait, what you think about women mental health and clapping cheeks? Want to hurt them or just say straight up, I want to clap and nothing serious? I be, I'm gonna be again. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you guys. It's so hard for me to like just not tell you the brutal truth. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. The only people I care about are my loved ones, my family, my friends, whatever. You know, unless the woman is part of my tribe, because guys, it's a dog eat dog world, right? Women, just like women don't give a fuck about your mental health, why should you care, right? Women will do some of the most fucked up things to some of the nicest guys on the planet. Why should you care, right? Unless it's somebody I fuck with, unless it's a booty call. Because even my booty call, some of them I was close with, some of them I was friends with. Yes, in that case, I would care about their mental health and all that stuff. But for the most part, I'm getting my nut and I'm leaving. And I also tell them that that's what I want. Because again, I'm honest. I never told a woman, hey, I want a relationship. No, no. I would tell them, I want to clap your cheeks. And they would laugh like, oh my God, stop it. You think I'm some kind of slut? I'm like, yeah. Oh my God. Like, I'm very direct. They either get mad and move on, or they like me for my honesty and I clap their cheeks, right? So be honest with them. Be honest with them. And if it hurts their mental health, because the funny thing is, even when I told them I just wanted to, to clap, they still thought that they could change me. They thought, oh, okay, watch, he's gonna make me my girlfriend eventually. I'm like, okay, get in line, right? Their mental health is gonna suffer, yes, but somebody's mental health is gonna have to suffer, right? Either my mental health goes to shit because I'm forcing myself. And by the way, that's when I was single, because obviously I'm raising kids now. All right, I gotta be monogamous. But when I didn't have kids, I didn't care because I'm like, I'm not about to fuck up my mental health by subscribing to monogamy when I'm not made for that. So somebody's mental health is gonna suffer. Either my mental health suffers for her to have her monogamy and whatever, or her mental health suffers because she thought that she could change me and she found out she was wrong. So guys, don't even focus on your mental health, man. Fuck that. Clap their cheeks. Make it known in the beginning. Don't lie to them. I'm not saying go out there and lie and say, don't catfish them. Don't be like, hey, I'm looking for a serious relationship, and then you lying to them. That's just lame. Be yourself. Next, what advice got you most girls? Being honest and not giving a fuck. So again, the advice that got me to most girls, the advice that I always tell you guys, boost your triple S score. That's one. Everything starts from there, right? Because even if your triple S score is dog shit, where's your confidence gonna come from? Where's your I don't give a fuck mentality gonna come from? Right? The advice that got me to most girls, yes, of course, is not giving a fuck and being brutally honest. But it's also having a high triple S score, because that's what allowed me to not give a fuck and be honest. You know what I mean? And where I grew up, it was about being competent at one valuable thing. At the time, it went from basketball to school to wherever the environment is, whatever women value in that environment. If you become good at it, right, you go up in status, your triple S score will go up, and from that platform, you'll be able to, create big towers all over the place. All right, so next. What do you think about my perspective of seeing all women, if attractive enough, as just T-boosts and they can e-boost off of me? Oh, Brandon. This is from Brandon Galley, by the way. What do you think about my perspective of seeing all women as just T-boosts and they can e-boost off of me? And to maximize the effects, don't be tied down to one, so complacency never occurs. Yeah, yeah. If I didn't have kids and I was single, that's exactly what I would do. I don't give a fuck. Because guys, like I always say, do not reject your biology to make tradition or religion or whatever happy. Do not reject and deny your biology, which is hundreds of thousands of years, even millions, if you want to go back far enough, of evolution. Do not deny that to make your parents or tradition or whatever happy. Men are undeniably polygamous. We are every part of us, from our brains to our entire physiology, is designed for polygamy. In fact, that is why monogamy has to be enforced by religion and laws. Think about it. If something was natural to us, you wouldn't need a law, we wouldn't need religion to tell us to do it, right? The reason why we have laws to try to encourage marriage and monogamy, right? The reason religions try to encourage that, which, by the way, religions are created by politicians. You guys already know this by now, if you watch my videos. It's because it's not natural. There's no laws telling you to eat, because you're going to eat, right? So, yeah, do not deny your fucking physiology. Obviously, use condom, don't get STDs, whatever, don't get unprotected sex, don't have kids that you're not ready for. But clap, 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 right? Men are the happiest when they're competing with men and winning, of course, and clapping cheeks. Polygamous cheeks, right? Being tied to just one woman, unless you're trying to raise kids, right, is one of the worst things you could do for your mental health. Because she's going to take it. Oh, don't even get me started on that. All right. My son, when Raiden gets older, oh my goodness, we're going to have that talk. I'm like, bro, You are not. I want this motherfucker to clap so many freaking cheeks before he finally settles down. Right? I'm not against settling down. Like I always tell you guys, if you're trying to raise good quality kids, monogamy is goated. If not, it is a piece of shit system. All right, next. Which is why I tell man, wait until you're ready to settle down. Wait till you like, I don't know, 40 or you got all your shit together, 41, 45, whatever, and then find a good woman, a decent woman, settle down, have kids. But until then, travel the world, have fun, stick your dick everywhere. All right, what are the good qualities for her being good? For, oh wow, it's like this guy read the future. Osato Daniel, what are the good qualities for her being good for a monogamy relationship? I'm going to answer because you asked 3 questions. First one, good qualities is obviously humble. First one is humble. Find a woman who's always willing to learn, who's curious, who's humble, who's quiet, who doesn't fucking nag all day. You know, do not get a disagreement. In fact, at the big 5 personality traits, right? The big 5 ocean, right? Openness, experience, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. The most important one for finding a good woman is the letter A, agreeableness. She has to be agreeable. Not so that you could walk all over her, of course not, because I still want men to have standards for themselves, right? But you cannot build a nest with a nagging, disagreeable, argumentative bitch. Oh my goodness, she would make you have gray hairs at age fucking 20, right? It is one of the worst things ever. So first, make sure she's agreeable, humble. She's feminine, right? Loving, respectful, loyal, whatever. So first one, make sure she's agreeable. Number 2, obviously, make sure she's loyal. The fuck, right? Make sure she's loyal. 3, make sure she's actually open to learn. Make sure she's coachable. Make sure she understands that you choosing monogamy is doing her a favor. It's not doing you a favor. It's doing her a favor. Because monogamy hurts us. It helps them. Okay? Meaning, once she understands that, for example, like, there's men out there who have to beg their women for sex. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You in a monogamous relationship, you are sacrificing your biology, which is designed for you to clap as many different cheeks as possible. You are sacrificing that for one woman. And then you got to beg her for cheeks? Get the fuck out of here, guys. Come on. You guys got to respect yourself. And you'd be surprised how common that is. It's so common. I'm not going to name names. It's so common. Right? So make sure you get a woman who understands that, hey, sex is a need. It's not a want for men. It's a need. Right? I can give you a million examples as to why it's a need. Look at the lengths to which men go to get a fucking to get a nut. You know, men will sacrifice food and water for cheeks. You know, that just reminded me of the Booty Warrior. Oh man, I wonder what happened to him, Felice Johnson. But anyway, so yeah, so good qualities. Make sure she's agreeable, loyal, feminine, kind, curious, willing to learn, things like that. You know, do not get a nagging bitch. Do not get a selfish bitch. Do not get a woman who wants you to put on the pedestal all the time and doesn't care about your mission and your ikigai. You know, because those qualities will also translate to a good mom. Next, do the benefits of sex still occur even though you having it with the same woman? Yes, but with diminishing returns, and it eventually goes down, 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 because the male brain wants novelty, novelty, novelty. That's why the refractory period, right, when you're done nutting and you lose interest in sex, it goes to 0 the moment you introduce to a new girl, the Coolidge effect. Because again, see, more proof that we are polygamous. So yes, you get benefits at first, but after a while, your dopamine goes down. Your brain is like, okay, I'm used to this. Next. Next, what are the main benefits of polygamy instead of monogamy? So like I said, they both have their pros and cons. I'm not gonna sit there and act like polygamy is perfect. The benefits of polygamy is it makes you a peak man, right? You always high T, high DHT, high androgen receptor. You focus, you driven. You always, you're protecting your status at all times because, if you have multiple women, guess what? There are other men who also want them, right? If you only have one woman, you're competing with the men who want her, right? Let's pretend it's 10. Let's pretend it's 10 men who want your one woman. If you have 3 women, that's 30, right? And in today's day and age, clearly the number is way higher than that, right? So the benefit of polygamy is you always competing, which is literally the water, like men competing daily is like fish in the water. Right, it is that perfect environment. That's where, if you look at the physiology, our neurotransmitters, our hormones, all of the best neurotransmitter ratios and hormone ratio, whatever. If you look at all the studies, they come out when we're competing. And it's not even close. Not when we sleeping, not when we sitting or work, when we competing. When you polygamous, oh my! I mean, just look at the conquerors of history, man. They were all polygamous for a reason. Even in the Bible, even Muhammad in the Quran, polygamous. David in the Bible, polygamous. Joseph, polygamous. Abraham, polygamous. Isaac, polygamous. Jacob, polygamous. Solomon, mega polygamous. The list goes on. The list goes on. King Saul, polygamous. Right? Genghis Khan, polygamous. You know, Alexander the Great, polygamous. The list, that's why it blows my mind that people are trying to debate this. Like, oh no, men are monogamous. Kiss my ass, man. So one of the benefits of polygamy is it brings out the best in you. And you have options, so you don't have to worry about one bitch driving you crazy. The downside is, again, the stress, the constant stress, the constant competition. So if you're not built for that, then that's bad. Also, another downside of polygamy is you're gonna have a lot of kids, so high quantity of kids, but they're gonna be low quality. Their mental health is gonna be fucked because you're not gonna have enough time to devote to each and every one of them equally, and there's gonna be a lot of fighting between them, even killing in some cases. So pros and cons, and that's why most societies have laws to encourage monogamy because it's good for peace and stability and mental health and things like that, at the expense of male mental health. Next, you said, just so this is a question for people you're supposed to could answer. Okay. Next, what would you choose? This is from Tom Butler. The previous question was from Osato Daniel. Anyway, Tom Butler. Let's see. What would you choose if you were a teenager figuring it out, finding purpose, etc.? Having a girlfriend who brings you peace and provides access to her body when you want, or the opposite, having to chase girls to get a chance with their body? Oh my God, it's not even close. It's not even close from somebody who's done both. If I could go back in time, I would do my cheek clapping fucking saga, whatever arc. I would multiply that times a million. It's not even close. I would do it even more. That's my regret. My regret is not that I did. My regret is that I didn't do it enough. Right? Because having a girl who brings you peace and all that stuff is the ultimate nerf. It's the ultimate nerf. And I know because I have a good girl who's a good mom. And yes, we fight, we argue from time to time because we're so different. I'm all about results and conquest and success and working hard. And she's all about just enjoying the present, whatever. Apart from that, she's a good woman, right? Never take that away from her. But holy fuck, the more she's a good woman, the more I'm nerfed. Because one, I'm no longer competing for cheeks, right? I'm no longer outside all the time looking for the next one, which kept me on my toes. Two, a good woman will feed you, give you the food that you need. Hey, you hungry, baby? Here's this, whatever. Which sounds good on paper, but it is the complete opposite of what you need to be successful. Especially if you're like me, where you need rage, right? You guys know I need rage to thrive. I need vengeance. I need the rage bucket. I need to be angry because of ADHD and the warrior gene. So I need constant stress, like acute stress, not chronic, but acute stress, to just thrive. And it's so hard to get there when you get up and you have a nice woman who's gentle, who's gives you sex when you want and whatever. You guys think it sounds good. It sounds good on paper, but it is so bad because it makes it so hard for me to channel rage. It makes it so hard. Think about it. It's so hard to channel rage when you could just get up, clap cheeks, eat a nice sandwich, whatever, see your beautiful kids. Oh my goodness, I hate it. I'm not gonna lie, I hate it. I love my kids and everything, but I tell them to their face. I tell my daughter to her face. She nursed me. Sometimes I want to go to the gym and I'm all pumped up. I'm like, let's go. I just did my meditation. I just thought about like all the bad people in the world I want to destroy, all the changes I want to bring to the world, all the people I want to help. I'm all pumped up, and I see my son or my daughter, and then they're all cute, and then it's like the super saiyan just turns off. I go back to, oh, look at my baby, and I'm like, fuck you guys. I get so bad because now I gotta like try to rechannel that anger. There are so many times when I was like, today I'm gonna do my full body workout, my 30,000 steps, this HIT, boom, boom, boom. MMA training, boxing. I'm all pumped up, and then I see my kids, and then they're all cute, all ready, and it's like, oh, daddy, animals, whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, So yes, Yes, if I was a teenager and I had to start over, that's why when I was younger, I told you guys I did not want kids. I wanted to wait until I was 45 because I knew this would happen. And everything I say came to pass. I have a loving family, love my kids. They nerf me. They make it so hard for me to channel my rage. And that's not even factoring in the whole, like, the time. Oh, my God. Don't, let me stop. Let me stop. Love him, though. That's why I'm still here. But yeah, so to answer your question, I would keep the polygamous lifestyle, keep clapping left and right, and I would not pick, a good loving girlfriend because she will literally water me down. And that's the downside of good women. A good feminine woman will put out your fire, which sounds good on paper, but it's terrible, right? Now, if you conquered your world, right, you created your empire, you reached the zenith, you achieved all your goals, then yes, of course, it's time to relax. Get you a nice feminine woman, have her put out your fire. But until then, rage, my nigga. Rage. You need rage. All right, next. Bro who cheats more, men or women? This is from Alejandro Munoz. As I grow older and wiser, thanks to Megan, I've learned we all nothing but whores, men and women. Shaking my head. You motherfuckers, man. I'm never ready for this shit. Let me read this again. Bro who cheats more, men or women, as I grow older and wiser, thanks to Megan. Thank you, thank you. I've learned we all nothing but whores, men and women. Shaking my head. You can tell my nigga's pissed. What can we take with us before getting into a relationship when we're older to find a hoe who don't cheat? Nigga, what can we take with us before getting into a relationship when we're older to find a hoe who won't cheat and also refrain ourselves from cheating? These hoes, these, bruh, can I, like, oh man, these hoes are too smart and find out everything. You cheat and they leave your ass most of the time. Yo, Alejandro is a fucking gangster. I love people who are brutally honest, man. I cannot say this enough. But okay, so let's break that up. You said who cheats more, men or women? Obviously, it's men, but it's mainly because of society. It's mainly because society is harder on women who cheat than men who cheat, right? But if all us was equal, oh my goodness, women are dirty, man. They are savages, you know. And they also cheat emotionally, whereas I don't like that whole distinction between cheating physically and emotionally, but because people use it, they cheat a lot more emotionally. Meanwhile, we just cheat physically, because we 9 out of 10 times when men cheat, we don't give a fuck about the woman. Most men know this. My niggas know what I'm talking about. Most of the time, we just want to clap and move on. Now, of course, there are times when we actually, are connected to the one that we cheat with, whatever, but more often than not. That's the difference between men and women. Women need to be emotionally invested to sleep with a man. Whereas men, I remember doing my booty call days. Oh my God, I could smash a chick and not even know her name as I'm smashing. Like, I'm literally clapping and I'm like, I want to say her name with some freaky shit, right? But I'm like, what the fuck was her name? And then the next day, she could get hit by a bus, and we're like, oh, sucks. Next, right? Men are ruthless like that, right? We smash because it's a biological drive, not because we care. Whereas women, they actually cheat because they're into the guy, whatever. So to answer your question, who cheats more in women? On paper, it's obviously men, right? Because we just hornier, and also because society, culture plays a role. For example, if a man sleeps with a lot of women, everyone's like, yo, let's go. That's my nigga, right? If a woman does it, it's like, oh, you fucking whore, whatever. So to be fair, you got to factor that in as well. But if all else was equal, oh, it'd be women by far. It'd be women. Because they are ruthless, man. Women are ruthless. That's why there's so many laws in societies and religions around women's sexuality, because in the past, without those laws, they were so ruthless, man. And I don't blame them. If I was a woman, I'd be ruthless too. Right, next, you said as I grow older, I've learned we all hoes. Yeah, we all hoes. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. That's why I don't get along with religious people, because they are so hypocrite and fake. Not all of them, but most of them, they're so hypocritical. Well, everyone's trying to act all self-righteous and all perfect. I lived that life, guys. I was more religious than all of y'all combined. Read the Bible front to back a million times. Study the Quran. I study more religions. It's funny because I study people's religions more than they did. So I'll be the first to tell you the religious life is all BS. It's people being hypocritical. picking and choosing what commandments they want to follow, and then they say, I'm not perfect. Well, anybody could do that. I could do that. I could pick any religion, pick and choose the commandments I want to keep, and then just say, I'm not perfect. Okay, so what's the point then? Anybody could do that. A rapist could do that. A rapist could be like, well, at least I keep the other 9 commandments or the other 10 or whatever. I just rape once a week. No big deal. I'm not perfect, right? Anybody could use that. So if people are honest with you, they will tell you, we all hoes, man, men and women. We just want to smash. We just want to have a good time, you know. So I'm glad you came to that realization, but it's always been like that. Anyway, what can we take with us before getting into a relationship? When we're older, to find a hoe who won't cheat. Uh, and bro, like I said earlier, man, just find a woman who's loyal, feminine. Um, if she has some, if she has anxiety, it kind of helps because then she's not gonna go out and do risky things. But yeah, it's the best you could do. As far as you yourself, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. If you choose that monogamy life, man, good luck. It's gonna be hard. You have to beat your meat a lot, man, to try to stop. That's one thing that I do to stop myself from cheating. I'm like, all right, one thing I do is like, I'm like, okay, if it's really bad, I just beat my meat, but because it's hard. It's hard, especially when you have my history, my background, where you had access to so many women, and then you had to stop that for the sake of your kids because you want to try monogamy and be there for your kids. Oh goodness, it's so hard. Anyway, next, Fabian, any advice if I just want to clap cheeks and not be in a relationship? You know what I'm gonna say. Come on, you know what I'm gonna say. Boost your triple S score. What the hell? Boost it, and then just have booty calls. Next, Seagull. Why does it seem like most of even the richest, highest status men in this world are monogamous? They all have one wife, or the things we're not seeing. You know the answer to that. You know the answer to that. Guys, the most powerful, high status men in the world are some of the most cheating sons of bitches. It is hilarious how much they cheat. They say, oh, yeah, I'm going on a business trip. Cheat, cheat, cheat. Oh, I'm going to Dubai for cheat, cheat, cheat. Oh, I'm going to this island for this, fucking sales retreat, whatever. Cheat, cheat, cheat. It is so common that it blows my mind that people still think that these guys are, quote unquote monogamous. No, they're monogamous on paper for political and religious reasons because it helps. Helps with their image, helps with their brand, especially if you're a CEO of a company, you know. You honestly think if Jeff Bezos came out and said that he was smashing 30, 20-year-old chicks a week, do you think that Amazon stock price would not tank or take a hit? No. They have to put on this holier than thou, self-righteous front because of politics and business. That's all it is. That's also why when there's so many scandals, right? With Trump and all the elite guys, the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, the Tiger Woods. Look at all the scandals, man. People have such a short fucking memory and a short attention span. Look up the list of scandals from the high status men going back hundreds of years, if not just the last 50 years. Bill Clinton, all that stuff. Guys, they are monogamous on paper. Next, in fact, one of the reasons why they got to the top was to be able to clap multiple cheeks. So funny how that works. Anyway, Jareth Rose. Is it going to lower? Let me see how many questions we have left. Oh, I gotta hurry the fuck up. Y'all niggas. Oh, that's a lot of questions, man. I gotta hurry up. Yeah, it's too many. Is it going to lower my test if I know I should be cold approaching, but I don't do it? I know guys with 1,500 tests naturally that don't cold approach any girls at all, but the concept isn't in their minds. It's not something they feel like they should be doing, but for me it is, and I always chicken out of it. I mean, I already told you guys my view on cold approaching. I feel like it's a waste of time unless you very good looking, very high triple S score. If not, the woman's gonna think you're a creep, and she's gonna think you're desperate. So, as far as 1,500 tests, come on, the test level means absolutely nothing if I don't know their overall nitrogen status. So yeah, I'm not a fan of cold approaching, but again, I'm an ugly nigga, right? So I'm biased, right? Because ugly niggas, cold approaching does not work. It does not work. We have to use other strategies. If you're good looking, then by all means, you could cold approach. But most of you guys, trust me, most of you guys overrate your face. You overrate it. Next, can women smell or sense a man's testosterone indirectly? They could sense the effects of high T, not the T levels itself. Now, there's some research on pheromones that they could kind of like subconsciously, sense that you have high T or high anxiety, through the cortisol breakdown products or the testosterone. But the research is not solid. It's still ongoing. But we do know that they can tell that you have high or low nitrogen status based on your behavior, based on your body language. They're very good at reading that. Next, the increase in T. Oh, by the way, that was from Isaiah Jimenez. Next, Samuel Magio. God, I know I'm butchering your name. Next, the increase in T in polygamy is really worth the increase in stress cortisol that comes with the management of multiple female partners. Yes, it is absolutely worth it because, yes, cortisol is going up, but so is testosterone. So that T to C ratio is either the same or, in some cases, even better. Next, Fadi Alobaidi. Oh, that's a fellow Nigerian. Guys, did I tell you I found out that, like, when I did my 23andMe, that a big percentage of my DNA is Nigerian? I was like, what the fuck? How come I didn't get the muscle genes? But yeah, because my dad is from Benin, and we forgot that Benin. Well, not forgot this time. I didn't know that the people in Benin, the country of Benin, originally came from Nigeria. So yeah, I used to grow up teasing my Nigerian friends, making fun of them, and find out, hey, I'm a Niger boy too. Anyway, Fadi Alobaidi, 80 kg, 172 centimeter, 17% body fat, 38% muscle mass, FMI 22 to 23. Let me give you a like. I really don't go out to approach women, but somehow when I approach, I always tell them to know my number and they call or text back. What is the way that texting really should be? Setting dates during the day when she texts, you just wait till the next day, or is the game now even more difficult because I get left on red, but I text back after 2 to 5 days when it happens? Okay, so to be honest with you, I think you're overthinking this. Like I always say, right? First, build your base, right? Your algebra, let's go, whatever, and then play the numbers game, right? When you're trying to clap multiple cheeks, it's the numbers game. I'm gonna say this a million times. It's a numbers game, meaning you go in. It's almost like sales, right? Where you have your conversion rate. If your conversion rate is 1%, what does that tell you? It means for every 100 people who look at your sales page, one person is gonna buy, right? So same thing with dating. It's just like sales. It's a numbers game. If your conversion rate, your whole conversion rate, your cheek clapping conversion rate is 1%, then that just tells you that if you talk to 100 women, you would get one. If it's 10%, well, okay, you talk to 100, you get 10, right? So know whatever your conversion rate is, just estimate that bitch, right? The better looking you are, the higher triple S score, the higher the number is, right? Obviously, Brad Pitt, fucking conversion rate is probably like 99%, right? But once you know your number, just go all in. Volume, 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 volume. Don't sweat it. If you text, she doesn't respond, you could text again. I don't like double texting because it shows that you're desperate and you have no option. So that actually lowers your relative triple S score in her eyes. But get the number and then just be yourself. I know it sounds cliched because everyone says it, but it's true. Be yourself is a cheat code. I told you I talked to women back in my days. I would talk to women like they were niggas, legit niggas. I would even call them nigga. I'm not even joking. That's how my brain disconnected from putting them on a pedestal. I would talk to them like niggas. I call everybody nigga. Right? I call my dog nigga, my daughter nigga, my girlfriend nigga. I call everybody nigga, and I would call them nigga because in my brain they were just it's another creature. I just want to clap her cheek, and if she's cool, we'll be friends. If not, on to the next. So I think you're overanalyzing this. I would say just if you have their number, text them, be like, hey, what are you doing tonight? You want to hang out? She's probably gonna be like, oh nah, they like doing that shit at first, right? Where they try to make it seem like they're not interested. Oh no, if she give you her number, or she, if she give you her number, more often than not, she wants you, or she's at least interested, because she could have just said no. Now, of course, there's some exceptions where there's some women who are just nice and they'll just give you the number so you could like leave them alone. But for the most part, she give you her number. I mean, she's sort of interested, or she just wants you to orbit her little, planet, for a backup plan. Text her, be direct. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Hey, you want to hang out? Hey, let's go watch a movie. Hey, whatever. She's like, no, I'm too busy. Come up with a counter based on your personality. I'm not going to tell you what to say. I hate that. I hate telling people what to say because it's based on your personality. What I would say is not something that will match your personality. But just talk with them. Be direct. Don't beat around the bush, because women know. Women are not stupid. At least not all of them are. They know what you want. They know you're trying to get in their panties. So the more they see you beating around the bush, the more they're like, yeah, he's scared. He's scared. Be direct. Be like, hey, what you doing tonight? No. You just trying to get in my panties. Be like, no shit. Like, no shit. Where do you think I got your number from? Oh my God. I'm more than just pussy. Are you? Like just flow, my nigga. Just flow. And then let's see, what else you ask? What is the way that texting really should be? So I just answer that. If they're leaving you on red, okay, that's fine. On to the next. Next, and also try to close bases fast, right? Because the longer you stay on her phone and don't move from base 1 to base 2, base 3, which is dating, then kissing, then touching, then head, and all that stuff, the more she's gonna forget about you. So try to move bases fast. Don't be too aggressive, but try to move bases fast. And if it works, great. If not, oh well. Next, you have mentioned many times before that perceived fighting ability is a big factor for physical attraction for women. But how about actual fighting ability? Because looking like you can fight and actually knowing that you can fight, yeah, are different things to an extent. How about being a non-fighter then? Would that help you with women? And shouldn't fighters be getting a ton of pussy? That's true. Okay, so by the way, this is from Sitting Bull. You said a lot of stuff, so let me see. You have mentioned many times that perceived. What about? Yeah, so the reason why perceived fighting ability is a great predictor, right? The reason why women subconsciously look for that is obviously for evolutionary reasons, because the number one thing that a woman wants in the wild is somebody who could protect her. It's the number one thing. It's not your looks. It's not. That's why the looks maxing crowd has this so wrong, even though the data is so against them and the real world is so against them. The number one thing they look for is, can this guy protect me? Then they start looking for the next things. Can he provide? Is he good looking? Can he give me good dick, good genes, blah, blah, blah. Right? But the number one thing is security, which is why they look for men with money, men who are tall, men who are fit, men who are lean. It's all signs of security. Okay. Next, you said, what about actual fighting ability? Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, believe it or not, even though some people look like they can fight and they cannot fight, if you zoom out and you look at, on average, somebody who looks like a fighter more often than not knows how to fight. Like, it's not, like, it's crazy how, it's because we're fighting nerds that we know that there's differences where you have, like, Sean O'Malley, who looks like a fucking, McDonald's burger flipper, and we know he'll destroy 90% of the world's population, right? But it's because we fight nerds. And he's an outlier, obviously. Or DC, right? We look at Daniel Cormier and then we're like, oh shit, like the average person thinks he can't fight when he's a fucking monster, right? These are outliers. But on average, if somebody looks like he could fight, meaning broad shoulders, big muscles, he's strong, he could choke you out, he could knock you out. It's only at the extremes of the bell curve that we find people who are either very buff but can't fight, or very small and scrawny but know how to fight. But at the middle of that bell curve, the rule applies, man. Most people that look like they can fight can fight. Now, of course, when I say they can't fight, we're comparing to the average person. We're not comparing them to an MMA UFC fighter. Okay? Ronnie Coleman can fight over 90% of the average population, right? He could fight an average man. See? Phil Heath, even though he's not a fighter, at his peak, could beat most average men. See? Looking like you can fight, which is big muscles, strength, lean, whatever, more often than not, you translates to better fighting ability. Because it's so hard to fake strength, right? If you have big muscles, you're strong. It's that simple. The goal of big muscles is to increase power output, force production over time. Okay? So if you have big muscles, more often than not, you are strong. And if you are strong, you could knock a nigga out, or you could slam him, or you could grab him, or you could choke him out. Next, you said, let's see. How about being a known fighter? Yeah, of course. If you're a known fighter, then the woman just has her confirmation right there. The reason why they look for signs that you could fight because they don't have the confirmation. But if you like Sean O'Malley, right? If a woman knows that, oh my God, he's a UFC fighter, it doesn't matter if he takes his shirt off and looks like Smeagol. She's gonna be like, oh my God, nutting me, because they have the proof. So women look for signs when they don't have proof. It's the same reason why if they see a guy who's super rich, but he doesn't look like it, at first they're not interested. But then if he walks into a Lamborghini, now they're like, oh my God, because now they have proof. But without that proof, they look for signs. Okay, next. And yes, most fighters get a lot of ass, man. You crazy? Most fighters, as long as they're not weird or you don't look. Dude, even Chi Wee Wee. That reminds me of Dober, man. If Dober's watching the video, like this motherfucker, bro, he had me dying one night because I tried my best uh, not to make fun of Raul because I like Raul. I think he's a great fighter, but holy fuck, he got fucked in the face jeans, man. But even Raul, right? Gee wee wee, he gets more cheeks than y'all. And look at him, look at Raul, bro. Please, Raul, don't fuck me if you ever see me, man, because I actually like him as a fighter, but man, he gives me hope. He gives me hope. Like whenever I think, how should I rate my ugly ass face on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm thinking, okay, what number should I pick? And then I start with Smigo, and then niggas like Raul, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm above that. But yeah, even Raul gets cheeks. I mean, I'm speculating, but I could guarantee you he gets cheeks. You know, which again goes to show that the looks maxing people have it backwards, man. Status matters so much more than looks. Anyway, next, this vote is tough. This is from Tapioca. This vote is tough because I kind of want both. Before I came across your teachings, I preferred having a girlfriend, but now that you say clapping cheeks, especially in youth, is the real path, that's what I lean toward. Again, guys, I told you guys, even though I give information and I value the information I give you guys because I put a lot of research and work into the words that I say, I don't want you guys to just take what I say without doing your own research. That's why I give you guys studies and I give you guys places to get started and I give you guys references for you to do your own research. I could just say, believe me, believe everything I say. And I know I'm right. I know I'm fucking right. And I know that if I'm wrong, I'm going to find out that I'm wrong and eventually update my information. But I want to teach you guys how to think for yourselves. That's why I tell you to question everything I say because I grew up believing people I looked up to. And then that's how I became fucking religious, wasted my life chasing this fucking scam created by politicians, which is what religion is, right? I made so many mistakes because I blindly listened and believed the words of people I looked up to. And that's why I'm telling you guys not to do the same. Because remember, the videos that I make, I'm talking to my younger self. And I'm talking to my future sons, including my current son when he's older. So I'm giving you guys advice that I will want somebody to give me in the next life or when I was younger. Right? And one of those things is do not just say, well, Megan said it must be true because it worked before. No, that's how you fall for cause. That's how you fall for all these scammers online. Because they're charismatic or they were right a few times, and now you think they're gonna be right the next time. No, pretend like everything I say is probably bullshit. And no, I'm not saying that for some like I say, it's not some reverse psychology to make you trust me more. No, I actually mean it. Pretend like everything I say is bullshit. Do your own research so that you could be like, oh shit, Megan was right, or oh fuck, Megan was wrong, and then bring that up, and I'd be like, oh look, somehow I was wrong. I doubt it because nobody, I don't say nobody, that's a little extreme. Few people research as much as I do. I'm constantly doing research and experimentation, teaching, coaching to look for what actually works. Okay? But even with that, I don't want you guys to just take whatever I say at face value. Do your research. You know? All right. You said, why is it that when I'm just myself with girls, hold on, this word is start. I came across a teaching. My question is, why is it that when I'm just myself with girls, brutally honest about my weaknesses, interests, and opinions, I feel like I'm lowering my value and that they won't accept me? I feel like I come off as the weird guy. I can kind of see how it would come off as low self-esteem. But honestly, I think I do have pretty high self-esteem, well, at least I believe so. I also wanted to say how much I appreciate all the work you do for us. You a legend. Love you, Megan. No Diddy. Why no Diddy? Full Diddy, my nigga. Full Diddy. I'm just fucking with you. Love you guys too, man. So okay, you said a lot. So let me pick the first one. Why is it that when I'm with myself, I feel like I'm lowering my value and then they won't accept me? That goes the problem right there. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares if they won't accept you? That's the whole point. Like the example I gave you guys, where every girl I was with, even when I was younger, I would tell them, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh nerd. I love Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and all these nerdy things. You think every girl was turned on by that? A lot of them were like, ew, you geek, you nerd. And I'm like, fuck you too. You know? Who cares? You have to love yourself. I know it sounds cringe and corny, but you have to believe that you're him. You have to believe you're the main character. You have to be like, this is who I am. If you like it, great, bend over. If not, fuck off. I'll be my meat tonight. I don't care. Either way, I'm getting this nut, right? I told you guys, I used that line all the time back in my days. I would tell them every time the same line. Either you come over tonight, we Netflix and chill, or I beat my meat. I'm getting my nut. You know, who cares? So to stop you right there, you're like, oh, I feel like the one accept me. Again, who cares? Next, you're like, I feel like I come off as the weird guy. Who cares? At least you're being you. I'd rather be the weird guy than the fake guy. Okay. Next, yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, man. Like, who cares? Just keep being yourself. Tell them your strengths. Tell them your weaknesses. You know. And also make sure you have a high triple A score, like I always say, right? Because none of this shit works if you can't fake it, right? None of this works if you have nothing that as far as triple S score goes, right? If you have no value, why would any woman even want you? Would you want you? You know. Next, Chris Quag, 5'4", 163 centimeters, 54 kgs, 13% body fat, highest return on investment for status. I'm pretty sure I know that answer already, but I want to hear from somebody I respect. Okay, much love to you as well. Okay, the highest return on investment for status, believe it or not, is security, right? Physical and financial security. That is the highest ROI. If you have a lot of money and you look like you could fight, and obviously you know how to fight, because it's hard to look like you could fight without knowing how to fight. Very hard. Because to look like you can fight, you got to be strong, lean, ripped, right? Or just jacked or big. It's very hard to do that without learning how to fight, right? Because you're not going to have all that strength, high VO2 max and all that, and not be able to at least fight an average guy. Of course, you're going to get your ass whooped by a professional who's skinny and scrawny, but again, outliers. They don't disprove the rule. So the highest ROI is get a great body, a warrior's body, a fighter's body, right? And then make a lot of money. That's where every man should begin. From then, that's the platform that you could stand on top of and develop your social skills. Because to develop your social skills, you have to talk to people, have a lot of friends, whatever. Why would people even want to talk to you if you don't have the first two? An exception is if you're really funny, or you know how to break the ice, you have good conversation skills. But chances are, if you have all that, you probably also have enough money, because those things spill over into other areas. But as far as the highest return on investment thing you could do, build a great physique, make a lot of money. From then, the next step then will be the next letter of the triple S score, which is status, which is, go up the social hierarchy, try to become a top dog, try to have your own business or whatever, work on public speaking skills, on and on. Next, you have how can I keep motivation and testosterone high if I'm in an environment where there's no cheeks? What the fuck? Where are you, Siberia, nigga? Like, what do you mean? By the way, this is Waleed Cultures. How are you in an environment where there's no cheeks? Like, leave your house. If you're home all day, no shit, right? Of course, there's no cheeks at home, right? No clappable cheeks, that is, if you know what I mean. But leave your house. Go to the gym. Go to the mall. Go to campus. Go to the library. Go to the park. Come on, bro. There has to be a way for you, unless you live in some weird ass fucking place, and I don't know, man. But yeah, just leave your house. I don't care if you gotta go 40 minutes every day, commute to the next town or city. Leave your house, guys. You do not understand what you're missing out on when you're not surrounded by beautiful women. You don't have to talk to them. Just seeing them creates such a big cascade in your brain that you cannot replicate it at home. Next, you said women are also polygamous. Well, polygamy is mainly from men, because polygamy means multiple wives. So, but I know what you meant. You said women are also polygamous, but that contradicts the video on the triple S score on why they are so picky. One egg a month, 9 months pregnancy, whatever. So I guess they return polygamous. Only the triple S score her male. There you go. Yeah, only if the triple S score of her male fails, he loses his frame on her, or he is absent and goes clapping on the trees. Correct. Yeah. So it does not go against the video that I made on the whole, triple S score picky thing. In fact, it supports it. If the men, again, evolutionary speaking, if his triple S score goes down, or she sees him as weak, or whatever, she's trying to replace him. Reason why most of the time they don't is because they're afraid of retaliation. They're afraid of the guy, because back in the days, the guy would literally kill the woman if she cheated. So that's one of the things that kept women, quote unquote, with one man, because of fear from the man or his brothers or the tribe. But yeah, we know this because there's some cultures where women have the right to get whatever they want, and they do not hesitate. Right, they came in at the right time, because this is literally the last question, and Raiden is so loud. You guys could hear the motherfucker. He's so fucking loud. But anyway, so yeah, they, if they had it their way, they will have multiple men, and there's some cultures that are like that, where the women are literally getting a train ran on them. I should do a video about that tribe. It's so funny. They're having men just come in and out and clapping their cheeks. Yeah, if women had it their way, they will have multiple partners. But next you said, and also they want the strongest sperm cell to fertilize the egg. So the more men are clapping their cheeks, the higher the chances that the strongest sperm cell will swim up and get the egg. Also, they would get the benefits of having multiple men take care of the kid and stuff like that. There's many cultures. I forgot the name of that exact tribe where that's what they do. Where they believe that it takes multiple men to create a baby. They actually believe that like a child is the product of multiple different men. So the women will have as many men as possible clap their cheeks. It's so funny. And the woman wins because now she has multiple men, and all of those men think they're the fathers. It's so weird, right? But yeah. Anyway, so evolutionary would be self-defeating to lose attraction towards a type 2 male. Or so yeah, so I'll just answer that. The woman actually wins if the men are okay with sharing her, but it's just that men are not on average. All right, I hope this video helps, guys. Join the SKOOL community. This video was way longer than I thought it would, but it was a good chat. I'm out.